You're listening to a Brain Stew Fresh Fright Review.
It's happening again, and it's always someone you know. Creeps! Ghostface, and one of the largest horror icons, one of the biggest scream queens of all time, will be returning to the big screen come this January with Scream. No? Sorry, Jeremy. Not Scream fucking 5.
No 5 cream.
No 5 cream. It's from the people that brought us the amazingly fun and bloody-tastic Ready or Not. I'm sure, Jeremy, you could probably say their names better than I can, but it's Matt Bettolini, Olfen, and Tyler Gillette bringing us a brand new Scream film coming this January, and a new trailer just fucking slashed through social media last week, and we felt it necessary to sit down and talk about it. I love Scream. I'm sitting here drinking my booze out of my Ghostface tiki glass. I always have something to
It looks really cool, too.
Discussion. It is cool. It was from the Mystic Museum. Did you actually ever attend the Mystic Museum, Jeremy?
It's in LA, right?
Slashback video? Yeah.
Yep.
So this was like a limited thing, but I'm Justin.
I'm Jeremy, and this is our good buddy. His name is Brady.
Brady.
Heyo. This is Birdie Stop of Creed.
Where the fuck you from, boy? That accent, I can't tell where the fuck you from.
I'm from Boston. I'm from outside of Boston. No,
God
I'm from
damn it.
Virginia.
You're not from. Stop pretending you've been there for 2 fucking months.
Hey, man, don't forget where you came from, man.
That's right, damn it.
Don't forget where you came from.
No, I'm a longtime friend of the podcast. I write for Epic Film Guys, all the new horror releases, even though Justin doesn't like to post my reviews.
Listen, when you're old and you have people threatening your life at movie theaters, shit can get hectic. But yes, I promise I'll publish them eventually when no one cares about reading about it. But,
exactly, right. We like to be, we like to keep our hands on the pulse, so to speak.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 weeks after it happens. But
Yeah.
You're also, doing your thing on the Vintage Horror Podcast, right?
I am. I'm on Vintage Horror Podcast. We just put out our episode on Scream 2, and we also have a new episode coming out for our Bloodstained series, which is analyzing Giallo films.
Ooh.
So we have a really fun one coming up of one that I've never seen before, a Dario Argento classic.
I mean, it's been
Which
fun.
film can you say or no?
I don't want to say yet.
I know, but I'm not going to spoil it. But I was going to say, it must be fun for you since you've not watched any of them, like, as in ever, because you were born, like, 5 fucking years ago. But that's got to be really exciting, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting, Some of them are just, I'm going to say it, trash. We all know, but they're still fun. So it is just really interesting to have that perspective.
I don't know that, Brady, because I think they're all good. But
Some of them I'm
the
like,
best.
like what the fuck drugs are these Italian people taking that they're like, okay, then the monkey comes in the room. I don't know if that's like if my voice is how fucking Italian people talk.
Jeremy, I'm just saying this. They wake up and have like 2 shots of espresso every single morning. They don't eat a very large breakfast. And then like at lunch, they drink like 3 glasses of wine. So what kind of movies do you expect them to
The
be?
monkey comes in the room, and then the bugs come out of the vents, and then the glove comes in the shot, and the knife goes in the eye.
That was the one thing I learned.
Hey, take it easy.
Going to Italy.
Wrong Italians.
I'm just saying, walking around and feeling the vibe. You can walk down the street with a bottle of fucking liquor in your hand. No one pays no attention to y'all. So
It's a beautiful thing.
I'm excited to hear your next review about this. even though you'll probably be wrong about it. But I brought you on for some reason, probably because you're a gigantic Scream fan. Look at him wearing that shirt right there.
Look at that. I fucking love this series. You know, actually, now, we're all on this podcast. These two here are probably the biggest reasons why I got into horror. I came into it pretty late, had a super religious upbringing, couldn't even watch Scooby-Doo.
Are you Wes Craven or something? You must be Wes Craven over in this bitch.
I'd like to think that when he died, there was a shift. Much like in Halloween 4, where young Jamie, gets Michael's being into her.
We're not really sisters, Jamie.
Double scoops.
Double scoops.
But no, so I mean, these two here, Justin and Jeremy, really, really have guided me in my horror journey, and allowed me to
remember that one night that I guided
your
hand down my pants when you were hammered?
That was 2 nights.
Nasty.
That's nasty. But yeah, Scream was one of the first ones that I saw that really impacted me. As a kid, I saw bits and pieces of that, but also mixed with scary movies, so I could never tell which one was which. And
I can't even imagine being that kid that's like, wow, I don't know which movie is which, man. We've got like a fucking breast implant getting pulled out of Carmen Electra's chest, and then the next
That's the thing.
Like,
when I watched the first one for
dying.
Like, really all the way through, I was like, okay, where does Carmen Electra come in? Because that's like why I'm here. And she never made it, but it was good, and
I mean, let's face it, there's no tits as big as hers in the original Scream that we at least see on screen.
Your mother was strutting her shit all over town like she was Sharon Stone. And let's face it, Sid, your mother's no Sharon Stone.
All I can think of is that Shaggy meme.
Could totally be said of Brady's mom, though, right now, if our listeners would ever. One day, we'll do a whole entire episode on Brady's mom. Because Brady's mom's got it going on.
No, she really doesn't.
She obviously did. She did.
She's had like 6 husbands. I don't think she's got anything going
Ladies
on.
and gentlemen, we're going off the rails here, but we're all just so excited, seriously, because we're going to have a blast with this. The brand new trailer for Scream, which is the 5th Scream movie, just landed last week, just in time to be shown in theaters with Halloween Kills, a movie that myself and Jeremy are keeping mum on for the time being. Listen, we already gave you our non-spoiler review last week. We gave you something. We just need a break from it.
Everybody's talking enough about this film that we don't have to talk about it right now.
I've started new medication. I'm going through therapy. And,
however, I will say, Justin, that I fucking called it. I fucking called it in our spoiler-free review, which is out now. I told you that this film was going to be on the level of Rob Zombie's Halloween's as far as how divisive it is, and that's exactly what the fuck it is, dude.
You got that right. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to stay away from all that, just walk off social media. I saw someone post on Facebook the other day, like, I can't handle all the backlash that Halloween Kills is getting, and I commented, it's simple. Leave the intranet.
Log off.
Go away. But you know what? We're going to get into this trailer because it landed. It was trending. Scream is such a big deal right now, much like Halloween Kills. It's insane that within like a 6-month period, we got a new Halloween movie, we got a new Chucky series, we got a new I Know It Was Last Summer series, and we're getting a new Scream movie. I as a horror fan and as a critic, I can't even imagine that in my head happening in one 6-month period, but it is happening. And Brady, you are our guest, so when you saw this trailer for the first time, where were you? How did you watch it? And what were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, so I was sitting on my couch, and I actually got a text from you, and you sent me the trailer super early in the morning. I think it was like 8, well, not super early, but like 8 o'clock. So I made sure my wife was at work, because I didn't want any interruptions, and I watched the trailer. And I think it goes into what you were saying, Justin, like, we're getting all these new movies of these killer franchises. And for me, especially, like, coming into these movies, I missed out on when these were first released. So this is the first really big Scream movie that I'm an active member of the horror community for. And so watching this, I got chills the entire time. Goosebumps. I loved so much about this that I had to just, like rewind it immediately because I was just in awe of the trailer. Yeah.
Did you
watch
it on
the word rewind?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you watch it on VHS where you had to rewind
He's going total scream here. He's like, I had to rewind it. He's all like,
I have to really immerse myself in it. So in 1996, did they have DVD players? Did you have an Android? No, I don't think so.
No.
So I had to get a VHS. No. I watched it on my phone at first, and then I watched it on the TV. I went on YouTube and screencast it. It was great. I loved it.
That's the funny thing, too, because I remember sending it to Jeremy, too, and I hadn't even watched it yet. I post it, I send it to my friends, but I'm like, I need to take a break. I black out the outside light, pull the blinds, put the surround sound all the way up, and pretend I'm in a theater, because that's something that, you know, is sorely missing from today's movie fans' experience, is that back in the day, you would have never seen the original trailer for Scream anywhere else but being at the theater for another movie, and always a random movie. It didn't always have to be a horror movie. It would be whatever was showing at the multiplex that night. So for me, I try to relive that because, yeah, I'm a fucking boomer, okay? Just saying. But,
or on VHS tapes, like before the movie would start, it's like upcoming attractions, and it like
right?
They would have the trailers before the film or whatever. Like, dude, I discovered so many. Like, a lot of times it'd be the straight to video jams that they'd show the trailers for, especially like if you're watching,
which we know Jeremy loves.
Oh man, you know, I love me some straight to video 90s garbage, 80s and 90s
dude,
garbage.
So speaking of that. What were your initial thoughts on the trailer, man?
So I was at work, and my other buddies, Aaron and Devin, they're huge Scream fans, so they were pumping up for this thing for days at a time. They were like texting like this many days, and so obviously when I woke up that morning, I knew that the trailer was coming. Like, it had been told to me so many times which day it was coming out.
We all knew, man.
We all knew. So being at work, I got the text message like, boom, here it is. And I watched it, and dude, it looks like a Scream movie, right? I don't feel like the trailer necessarily gave us anything that we haven't seen already in a Scream film, but it was directed much differently. That was some of my initial thoughts on the trailer, is that you could tell this was not directed by Wes Craven. There was definitely a different visual flair for the directors on this film, which I found refreshing. So even though it looked very familiar, like the Scream films that we've gotten before it, a lot of the visual aesthetics were very, very different. And what I enjoyed off the bat for this film is the violence looks like it's ramped up a notch in this movie
100%.
compared to its predecessors. So that was something that I was like, all right, this looks a little bit more gritty and a little bit more violent, and I'm on board for that. I will tell you that in my first watch of this trailer, a little annoyed at the Sidney Prescott bit, man. Like, I think it's, in one fold, it's cool that she's been in every single one, and that this story has had to follow Sidney Prescott in every single one. But in this one, like, it felt shoehorned in a little bit, to the point where it's like, literally, from the look of the trailer, she's living her own life, she's good. The murders have nothing to do with her. And it's like, it's happening again, which Dewey looked cool as fuck, bro.
Well, we know that no matter what happens, whether it has to do with her directly or not, which it almost always does,
sure,
she still comes back into the mix. And of course, it looked like she was fucking jogging.
I'm sorry.
She just got, or she's out fucking
like
experiencing
walking around.
A nice day.
Dude, like,
coffee.
I'm sorry, but if I've had, 4 prior events that happen in my life where motherfuckers are trying to end my life, if all of a sudden somebody called me and they were like, hey, this shit's happening again, I wouldn't be like, I'm on my way. No, fuck no, they're not after me this time. I'm not going anywhere. So
I also want to call attention, she had a ring on her finger.
Ooh.
So is it possible that she and Kincaid are married from Scream 3?
It's entirely possible. I mean,
that's interesting.
I love all the fan theories going into this. I have to say, as I go into my initial thoughts on this thing, that I definitely obsessed over it. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you that are listening right now were probably people that went and attended the Fathom event, which was a one-day event on a Sunday where they showed the 25th anniversary of the film. And I called every theater to be like, yo, are you showing the new trailer with this thing? I found out 5 minutes after the movie started that they were not showing the trailer. A friend of mine was at one of the screenings, so I was like, okay, I'm good. Because I was looking at Twitter patiently, but I knew that we were getting the new trailer within a few days.
I laughed.
My initial thoughts are very... Well, I was texting you at the same time because we were thinking about actually trying to schedule the recording the same day, that Sunday, to make sure we were on point. But my initial thoughts are a little bit different. The first thing that came into mind for me was immediate lack of Marco Beltrami's iconic themes, like any of them. I'm extremely hopeful that Brian Tyler celebrates the series' legacy in terms of music by peppering those themes throughout. I know it's just a trailer, but listen, when you watch the trailers for the new Jurassic movies, they have John Williams themes. When you watch the trailers for the new Halloween movies, you hear John Carpenter's theme.
Dun, 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 dun.
And the one thing that has been such a huge part of Scream is Marco Beltrami's themes, his score, and that was his first horror score of all time. So I read online, yes, this is a thing, I'm doing research, and apparently Marco had said no one approached him to do Scream 5, the new Scream movie. And that actually shocks me, considering he did one of the best scores of the entire year this year with A Quiet Place Part 2. He is top-notch. He did Logan. He's been doing such these high-profile jobs as a composer, and it shocks me that they wouldn't want to, they've obviously initiated continuity with bringing back the Legacy cast, which we'll get into in a few moments as we dissect this trailer, but I didn't understand why you wouldn't, this guy did the music for almost the entire series, why don't we get him?
Well, you have to think also is that this movie is not called Scream 5, as we discussed. It's called Scream. They have, like I said earlier, they have a whole new visual aesthetic towards it, so maybe their thought process was, let's bring back the characters, let's continue a new storyline, but let's make it look and sound fresh.
Well, Jeremy, for my benefit, I swear to God, if I don't hear any of those themes, I'm gonna fucking riot in the movie theater. But so this trailer opens, guys, with Ghostface terrorizing. Would you like to play a game, Tara? The supposed victim, Tara Carpenter, played by Jenna Ortega, and this seems like, based on the way the trailer plays, our Drew Barrymore of this series.
For sure.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Is this? Do you guys think this is the first death of the movie?
Especially,
No.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so two differing opinions there. Okay, let's hear it.
Especially because, Jenna Ortega, she has a rising star, right? She, people will watch this and she will look familiar to them because she was in the show You on Netflix. She was in The Babysitter Part 2 that was on Netflix, and she's been in a bunch of other things. People will see this and be like, oh, they'll watch the trailer and there she is. So making her death impactful if she is the first kill. I do know for a fact that scene, from what I've been told, is the first scene in the film. So I think for sure that she's the Drew Barrymore setup. That's
she's
my
the Casey
thoughts.
Becker.
I think so.
I mean, I would find it very strange that they would try to set it up that way, but I mean, the original Scream trailer does the exact same thing. It plays on that first scene in the movie. Brady, you said you had a differing opinion on that. Why do you think so?
Yeah, I think it goes into, how can you make this series work in the modern age, right? So you think back to the original Scream really excelled with its meta nature because horror in the late 80s, early 90s was getting stale, right? It was easy to not easy to come up with something new, but anything meta about it really followed the formula. Well, now you have horror branching out in every single direction. And how are you going to get it back to that, right? So I think that it's all misdirection. I think that these two directors know what they're doing. I think they know the vision that Wes had. Williamson's an executive producer, so I think that counts for something. I think it's all just to throw you off. I think everything in that trailer is meant to throw us off. I don't think that she is going to be the first kill.
That's very fair. I mean, in terms of the trailer itself, even if you compare it to the first scene of the original Scream, it's setting you up to know what this Ghostface, what this killer is all about. I mean, in the first scene of Scream, you know his MO. You know what this guy's all about. He's all about terrorizing. And here we see a gigantic update in technology. We see from the first frames of this trailer, this Ghostface is no Boomer. He's no Jeremy. He's no Justin here. He's more like you, Brady.
He's a Brady.
Or maybe a little bit younger. He or she is obviously highly skilled with modern technology. They hacked the security system of Tara's house. Can you honestly imagine how terrifying it would be to know you, like, I'm fully secure in my house with this brand new security system I run on my phone. I've got cameras everywhere, and someone's inside your house changing the locks constantly. I felt like the way that was played up in the trailer was fucking terrifying.
It was great.
Oh, yeah.
I did roll my eyes when, as soon as the trailer started, the phone rang, which is typical for a Scream trailer, but it was a landline that was ringing, and I said, who the fuck has a landline in 2021?
I'll tell you who. My mother and father-in-law.
Yeah.
Maybe she's at her grandmother's house. I don't know. I don't know.
When
her grandma's got a landline, but she's got those locks? I don't think so.
Yeah. When the trailer started and the fucking landline was ringing, I was like, come the fuck on, dude.
Listen, maybe grandma has a fucking beau that she's fucking behind the scenes and doesn't want grandpa to know about, so she has the landline because she knows that he's all about his iPhone, and that's why I got this landline.
There you go.
Well, maybe grandma needs to get some life alert.
It was just another debt collector, honey. Don't worry about it. I'll fuck you at 10:30 tonight. I'll suck your dick all night long. I swear to God. You never
want
know.
Granny to take her teeth out?
Oh my God.
But so it seems like right off the bat, though, that they're trying to present technology. Obviously, back in 1996, it was such a big deal to have cell phones.
What were you doing with a cellular telephone device?
You're a rich kid, right? When I said that, when that scene plays with my wife, she's like, I had a cell phone since 1995, and I was like, well, you've been rich, bitch.
Yeah, dude, my mom had a car phone, and literally she told us, she was like, you only call that car phone if it is an emergency, because that is expensive. It was like fucking like $15 a phone call or like a minute or some shit.
My senior year, I mean, for my Christmas gift, I got one of those track phones, and I spent it all in like 3 days selling weed. So it was like, my parents were like, what'd you do with that phone? It's gone.
I made an investment. That's what I did.
So we have to talk about the legacy characters here. We should start off 100% with, let's face it, one of the biggest Scream queens of all fucking time. One of the most memorable female characters out of any horror franchise, Sidney Prescott, played by Neve Campbell. She gets the call, like you said, Jeremy.
Hello,
she just got
Sidney.
coffee.
It's an honor.
Oh, that scene. We'll get to that scene.
Oh, my God.
But when Dewey calls her, and he's just like, yeah, from my trailer, I'm drinking some motherfucking light. Gail left me.
Dude,
you wouldn't be drinking Miller Lite.
I got some stale bread. I got some stale bread up on this fucking shit. You can see it. He's sitting there.
He's cutting pizza with scissors. He's gone full Cobra.
Oh my God.
He's got the limp again, apparently. But of course, he asks her if she's got a gun. Of course, I have a gun. I think the return of Sid in what seems to be a mentor-like role to this young woman we see named Sam Carpenter, played by Melissa Barrera, who is quick to tell her she knows who she is. How could you fucking live in Woodsboro and not know who she is? But of course, that's there for the unknowing audience that's not familiar. Sam seems to be Tara's sister, the girl we see in the beginning of the trailer, which explains why Sidney would meet her, as she would want to know more about the victims if she's going to come back to Woodsboro and be this mentor-like character. Do you guys like that aspect, that she's going to be like... All of our legacy characters appear to be like these mentor-like characters to this story.
So, I don't care for that. I don't need Gail back, and I don't need Sidney back. I know that most fans would disagree with me. The only one that makes sense to me would be Dewey coming back, because, he was the sheriff in the previous one. Doesn't look like he's probably the sheriff anymore. He looks pretty rugged.
He's definitely not. Yeah,
he looks like pretty rugged, pretty rough.
I mean, if you watch Scream 4, they had a nice house. He and Gail. She was still doing reporting.
Right.
He was the sheriff. Now apparently he lives in a shitty trailer. Like I said, the stale bread kind of gives it away.
Yeah. So for him coming back, it makes sense. I mean, he was a police officer in the first one. His sister got murdered. He still lives in Woodsboro. He was the sheriff. The murders are happening again in Woodsboro. It makes sense for him to come back. For Gale and Sydney to come back, it feels forced and it feels shoehorned in for me. I don't need that if you're going to reboot this thing and give us fresh characters, like, I'm cool with that if it's just Dewey. I don't need Sydney or Gale in this. I'm happy for people that are stoked about it, but for me, it didn't do anything.
Including me.
It didn't do anything for me. I've said it since the get-go, and I know that I'm 100% alone on this. I always kind of wished that they did like a direct-to-video Scream movie, and I would have loved to have seen like an early.
That technically could have been Scream 4 because it did nothing. It underperformed.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for Wes that his last big studio movie underperformed and basically bombed.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen a bonkers straight-to-video Scream sequel that tried to tie certain things to the original while doing new things because they couldn't get the main cast back because there wasn't the money to get them back. Kind of like some of the shitty Hellraiser sequels that we've gotten, but I would have loved to have seen a low-budget direct-to-video Scream movie. But obviously we're getting a big reboot that is bringing back legacy characters. There they are.
Which I couldn't be happier about.
Sure.
And
see, I would agree. I understand what you're saying, Jeremy, about like you don't want everybody shoehorned in there, but I don't think you can. I don't think there's a reality where we can separate
there's no
Scream
path.
from
there is
Sidney
no,
Prescott.
Yeah, there's no
and
realistic
I think
path.
when you look at Scream 1, 2, 3, and 4, where we've been with her, almost half of her life now, and the way that they can have her character just keep progressing through these different stages of trauma through her life, I think that's really important. And
I mean, what is she going to say? Be like, sorry, Dewey, they're showing reruns of Gilmore Girls on TV. I'm just going to stay home and drink some wine with my girlfriends. No, it's Sidney Prescott, dude.
Yeah.
But I would say too, like, I agree that I don't want the focus to just be on her storyline anymore.
I mean,
This trailer apparently definitely focuses the majority of its time on the legacy characters, which obviously makes sense.
That's to hook us in, to hook the fans
in. Every single franchise. There's no way that this trailer would have been produced where we got the main focus on the new characters that obviously are a large group of a lot of no-name actors. There's a few people in there that we've seen from other big things. But for the most part, they're not huge. They're not big names. Whereas if you look back to the original Scream, and I bring this up on every single episode that I discuss, they were no-namers, but they really weren't. I mean, Nev had already done The Craft. She was already in Party of Five.
Arquette had done Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Exactly. Yep. Matthew Lillard had already done a bunch of stuff.
Zero Mom, bunch of shit, yeah.
Drew Barrymore was a huge fucking star at the time. We had Rose McGowan. Name anyone out of that cast. And they were, in parentheses, unknown actors, but they really weren't. The only one that was probably really unknown was Jamie Kennedy.
Yep.
I mean, he had been in Romeo and Juliet, but that didn't come out yet.
Yeah.
So everyone involved were already involved in other projects. Here, I only see a few people that I recognize, so it makes sense that for the core audience, you're going to play your strengths. This is how trailers work. Sure. This is how movie studios decide how they're going to... Listen, put at the forefront what we know they want to see. Ghostface, Sidney Prescott, Gale Weathers,
Dewey,
Deputy Dewey Boy, whoever's alive.
Here's my issue, and I'll be honest, completely honest with this, is I adamantly love the original Scream. I do not love the sequels. I'll be the first one to say that. I'm okay with that.
My heart.
I don't dislike them, but they're not something to me that's cherished.
Scream 2 is a masterpiece.
Jeremy doesn't get up on his kitchen table and say, "Hey, I think I love you. Isn't that what love is made of?" He doesn't. You don't say that to Scream 2, Scream 3, or Scream 4?
I don't. So here's where it falls apart for me, man. Again, I respect that they bring back the lead characters for every single one. That's a rarity in horror sequels that you get all of your main stars back for every single one. However, if you really think about it, it's like, okay, Scream 2, what do we do? It's the killer from the last movie's mom. Okay. Scream 3, Sydney finds out that, her mom was with like these other people, and now she's got a half brother, and the fucking half brother's the fucking killer.
I mean, it connects to the original movie because your mother was fucking thought she was staring stones. And then she's fucking everyone in the fucking world.
And then we get to part 4,
opening them legs.
We get to part 4. We get to part 4, and it's like now it's Sydney's niece, to where it's like, dude, who the fuck is it next? It's like. It's the guy that used to babysit fucking Sydney when she was 7, and he was also fucking her mom. And
hey, dude, Jimmy, it's the guy across the street. It's the guy across the street that just watched Sydney grow up, and she rode a tricycle, and now
maybe it's the same boat that it's the same boat that Grandma's fucking on the side.
Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, it's always like some silly like, okay, what can we do? Okay, I think I've worked
entertaining.
They are. They're. And dude, here's the thing: is if anything, I would say Scream 4 is. If I had to pick a favorite sequel out of the bunch, it probably would be Scream 4.
Scream 4 fucking rules. Scream 4 fucking rules. And I honestly, I love the love that Scream 3 has recently been getting on social media. Recently, people are reanalyzing it.
Not from me.
I see that. I see that because that's always been my thing. People will question me when it's like 1:30 in the morning, like 2 in the morning, and I'm totally shit-faced. I had like a bender, and I'll send them a screenshot that I'm watching Scream 3, and they're like, what is wrong with you? Yeah. Oh, the fact that you're hammered. I'm like, it's Scream 3 though, dude. You know, so I appreciate people coming back to these movies the same way they've come back to any franchise and reevaluate what's there and what, you know, they were trying to do or what they were able to do. This movie, we see only glimpses of new characters. Some of these obviously have connections with previous Scream characters and linked to past killers somehow. So it seems like Ghostface is attacking people related to previous Scream killers. For instance, Mandy and Chad are Meeks, like Randy Meeks. Wes Hicks, new character, which sounds like could possibly relate it to Deputy Judy Hicks, who's in the movie. There's a quick glimpse of her there. So what do you think of that element that this new killer is only trying to kill based on previous kills or people involved in previous kills?
I think that's creative. I dig that.
Yeah. I think it's fresh. I think it's definitely something that we haven't seen yet.
Sounds like Ghostface to me. I mean,
I do want to say though, like, I didn't really care for Deputy Judy Hicks in Scream 4, but I'm seeing all this stuff about how she's a fan favorite now. I personally didn't like her or her lemon bars or anything about her character.
Her lemon squares?
Her lemon
squares.
squares.
Like ass.
Did you try them though? Were you there to taste them?
They looked like cardboard.
Do you think they tasted like her bush?
Oh my god.
Bush Light, maybe?
Like Gavin Rossdale Bush?
Oh,
there it is.
Rain.
I was just going to say, I mean, blonde hair, they were yellow in color and such. I was not fully aware.
You were asking if I was getting in on her lemon bars or her lemon square.
Is it a box? It looks like a square. It's a box, right?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
But no, I just didn't like her. And so, I mean, when it was announced that she was back and I saw the pictures, I was like, I don't really care about her. And if this kid, Wes, is related to her, like, it doesn't do anything for me.
Kill them all.
Kill them all. I want stabbing. I want blood. I want screaming.
Looks like we're getting the red stuff, man.
We're getting a lot of red stuff. Something about this Ghostface definitely seems way more brutal. Ghostface is on fire in this fucking trailer. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I was like, holy shit, that's Ghostface, like, in the kitchen, like, ah! You know, we've seen Michael Myers on fire. We've seen Jason Voorhees on fire. We've seen Freddy Krueger on fire. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, we've never seen Ghostface on fire, have we?
That sounds like a good metal band, Ghostface on Fire.
Just saying. He has probably the most flammable outfit out of all of them.
You could do a Kings of Leon cover. This Ghostface on fire!
These scenes show how brutal the killings will be. I mean, we see a leg get broken. We see him stabbing people.
That was sick.
In like basically alleyways, like out in the open. Usually, you know, in Scream movies, Ghostface was more condensed, much like how Michael Myers was in the original Halloween movies. He would go in, he'd get his job done, and get out. Here we see Ghostface in a hospital, another public place. There could be anyone there. We see him in an alleyway. We see him other places too, leaving people's garages, like in what looks like neighborhoods, to stab people. I mean, I think that they're trying to up the ante. Again, they need to, I think, to
for sure,
push forward. But I'm really interested because one of the main things I got off this trailer, guys, and correct me if I'm wrong if you didn't feel this way, the original Scream had a lot more laughs. I watched every single trailer this weekend for every single other Scream movie, and every other trailer had like at least a laugh or two or something that was meta. This trailer is just very dark and dingy. Like
I dig that.
Jeremy said earlier on, it's that blue light that's throughout the entire thing. It just looks like this Ghostface ain't really playing around. He doesn't want to joke around. He just wants to call you and be like, I'm going to cut you in a few minutes. You're done, bitch.
Yeah. No, I thought he was definitely going to be very much more malicious. And I really, really like that. Because while I do love the comedic aspects of Scream, sometimes I just want a brutal kill.
Yeah.
And I think this trailer really showed that that's what they're going to give us. They know what we want.
Bitch, you know what I want. I want to talk to Samson.
Apparently. Well,
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think that... So Scream 1, Scream 2 had 2 killers. Scream 3 allegedly only has 1. Scream 4, there's 2. Do you think this one has 2 killers? Or do you think it's just 1?
I hope it's 1.
My question to both of you would be the same question that is going on in the Woodsboro Film Club on Facebook right now. With so many fans speculating that Stu is still alive,
No.
he's the killer, or Randy is still alive and he's still the killer, or Billy, Bubble Butt Billy, is still alive and he's the killer. Like they didn't die and they magically. I mean, again,
the only one I believe out of that is Stu.
Well, the reason for this, and Brady, you can explain to our audience why they think this, is that these characters before have been signed up and paid for to be the killer in Scream sequels.
Yeah.
Billy too?
Lillard was paid to be the
Billy?
killer in part.
Skeet?
Yeah, Skeet was paid as well. Yeah, all of them were.
For which film? For Billy, for Skeet.
So he was paid to be involved with part 2. He never was involved because they had to change the script because it leaked on the internet.
Okay.
And then apparently in part 3, Matthew Lillard was paid a full salary to be the killer, but never went on set one time. But Matthew Lillard is in Scream 2, though.
Yep. Yeah,
He's in Scream 4, allegedly, too.
He was in a party scene, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's in 4?
He's in 4. Yeah, apparently he's uncredited as one of the partygoers at the barn where they're showing the movie where Gail gets attacked.
Dude, I'm completely on board for Lillard, being released from prison. He's being, it's been however many years it's been. He's reformed, and then the killings started, and there's the speculation of like, well, he's out. Is it him? He could be the Cotton Weary of it, or he could be the Cotton Weary character until the end where it is revealed that he is the killer. That could go either way. That would be really rad, man. I think that would be something they haven't done before. For all the listeners, maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but Kevin Williamson produced the show with Kevin Bacon, The Following, and it was about, a serial killer that was off killing people, and Kevin Bacon's character was the agent that was pursuing him, and, he at one point the killer gets arrested, and then there's a whole cult of people that are following him from in jail that are, he's in jail, and these people are killing for him because he can't, because he's locked up. And the whole reason that show existed was because that was supposed to be a Scream sequel. It was going to be that Stu was in jail, and there were people that worship him outside of jail, and it was going to be like the cult of Ghostface. And essentially, he was going to be pulling strings from within jail and having these different Ghostface people do killings for him. So I think that would be really interesting if Stu did make a return, and I feel like fans would really, really respond well to that.
I think it's a pile of bullshit.
I think it could be good. I don't know. I love Matthew Lillard. I love Stu, but I want to see something a little new. I want to see what they can come up with, a different connection. I really, like I said, I really, really love his character. I just think he's been away from the series too long.
Well, also, Jeremy saying him getting out of jail, we've never seen Billy or Stu go to jail because we assume they're dead.
Well, I mean, Billy got shot through the fucking head, so...
I mean, they're dead. They're not coming back, so...
The whole speculation with Stu is that, okay, the TV fell on him, so technically we never saw him dead. But, I mean, when you go back and watch that scene, like, his body looks like it's dying. Like, he is convulsing,
as
being
we know,
electrocuted.
though, young Padawan, with the slasher genre, you can bring anybody back. And
they always come back for one
Halloween
final scare.
Kills... We're looking at you. You must have looked at that rule and we're like, yeah, we can do anything we want.
Oh, we can do that.
But, I mean, it's very true. I mean, they could technically do whatever they wanted to do to fit the continuity, to fit whatever they're doing. But the whole tagline is, it's always someone you know. So, is that misdirection? Or is it legit? I mean, as we've watched throughout these movies... Aside from part 3, which, it's not anyone fucking anyone knows because it's a character that was written for the movie that no one gives a shit about. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. But if they're going that route, then it could be one of the new kids, which would be interesting, depending on how they characterize them and develop them. There seems to be a lot of new characters. That's one of my main worries here, is they show glimpses of like a bunch of them.
Yep.
We see a handful of them already getting slashed at and stuff, which doesn't necessarily mean that they're not part of the plan in terms of Ghostface mayhem. It could be, again, misdirection. That's why I'm so excited to be a Scream fan with this thing, because unlike the Halloween franchise, unlike the Nightmare franchise, you fill in the blank for the remainder of what I was going to say, Scream is always about misdirection.
Who done it?
Yeah, exactly. It's Scooby-Doo. I mean, Matthew Lillard's in Scooby-Doo, and like that meme, like you said, Brady, him with that fucking weird Shaggy pose and the same exact pose as Ghostface from the trailer. You're like, it's gotta be Matthew Lillard. He's the killer. Okay, I mean, if he is, cool. He is, but I don't.
What's amazing to me is how many fan theories are coming out of this, and they are so off the wall. So like the Stu thing, okay, sure, there is some plausibility there. What's your theory?
So
this dick,
this dick
in your mouth.
So, dude, my theory was, and I don't know anything for sure, but Judy in Scream 4 had that really creepy scene where she was in the hallway with Sydney and she was like, you probably don't remember me, like we went to school together and we were in the play together and blah blah blah. So she was kind of alluded to that maybe she was an ugly duck, like somebody that kind of blended in, wasn't anything too special in high school.
Was?
Yeah, so
she still is.
You leave Wendy Peppercorn alone, bro.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Leave Wendy Peppercorn alone.
I'd have it. I mean, I would if I wasn't married. That's what I meant.
So,
sorry, honey.
So as
Justin,
we
have
know,
a vibrating sex doll.
As we know, Sidney Prescott was not giving Billy any boom boom in the first one. He kept getting denied. So my theory was, what if? Because Sidney didn't even remember Judy. What if Billy was hooking up with Judy on the side because she was giving him some peace because she wasn't getting,
kid.
And that's their kid.
That's the Hicks kid. Oh my God,
that's their kid.
You just but
nobody knows
Holy
that she had
fuck.
it. But nobody knows that she had the son of Billy Loomis, and she kept it quiet because she didn't want his whole life to be tarnished by the fact that his father was this killer. So that has been my theory the whole time.
Listen to me right now.
Oh no.
If that is the fucking twist in this movie, I will pull my pants down and show both of you my flaccid penis.
But you have to do it in a crowded store.
I will do it in a Walmart.
No,
that would faze nobody.
No, we gotta go to Target.
Nobody at Walmart.
What you'll do is this. We'll promote an advanced screening of the movie, and you will be required to walk in front of the audience with a microphone and admit all of this to the audience, and then do it, and then you'll get public humiliation, and also charged by police.
If that's what they do to this movie, I want to go to jail, so I can never watch this again.
During the whole thing, so that's fine. So you can just run out and go. Ha, ha, ha.
Another thing that I was kind of wishing that they were going to do with this, guys, is that I was wishing they were going to go the Halloween 2018 approach with this, and that someone broke into police evidence and stole one of the original masks, or both of the original masks, from the original film, and they would have had a little bit of mask rot, a little bit of decay, and been broken down a little bit, not as pristine and shark belly white as they are.
Yeah, you wanted it to look a little bit more rigid and rough. I wanted that too. What's crazy to me, and a lot of fans, they're very aware. The mask you see so much in the opening shots of Scream, they can't even show anymore. So, for example, like tonight, I had to design a background because I'm hosting a 25th anniversary screening of Scream, the new 4K restoration in November, and I'm looking at images just to put that stuff together, and you realize there's like 3 different masks just in that opening scene, and they're not allowed to use the original design anymore.
The Fun World one?
Yeah, the original Fun World, not the one that Fun World went in and then afterward changed the trademark on and then like redid based on the movie, but the original. So it would have been cool. It makes no sense why they didn't do that, Jeremy, because right now you go to Target, they've got Ghostface figures already on the shelf that already look just like what the mask looks like now. Shirts already look the same. So as we've talked about before on the show, getting something slightly new just for merchandise rights, it doesn't make any sense why they didn't change it a little bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so I love your idea. I thought it would be cool to make it look a little dingier. It looks stark white. It actually looks brand fucking new.
Yeah, it does.
We talked about Halloween masks a few weeks ago with our top 5, our best and worst Michael Myers masks. This mask kind of reminds me of the Halloween Resurrection mask. It looks like the motherfucker just got done buying it at the mask shop and he put it on.
That's the point. That was the point of the whole fucking mask, though, wasn't it? Like in the first one, when Dewey comes up with it, they're like, oh, no, you can get this at any five and dime down the street. Yeah, so I like it. I get what you're saying. It would have been a cool little twist on it. But I think comparing it to the Halloween 2018 mask is 2 different things. That was supposed to be the same exact mask.
Yeah,
this one,
I like that would have been. I thought that I agree with Jeremy. That would have been cool to do that.
It could have been cool, but
they never played that back in terms of like this is the first mask that we had as evidence, and somehow they came in and got it out. I like that idea.
It's cool, but I don't think I need it for Scream.
I fucking need it.
I need it.
I'm a privileged fan. I deserve better than just a regular fucking Ghostface mask.
That's right.
Try harder. I'm just kidding. It looks good.
Yeah, no, I love the mask.
The poster looks great. The mask looks good. I mean, it's definitely a new sculpt and everything like that. I'm not sure if you noticed this, Brady, so we're going to talk about the costume real quick. Did you notice one specific thing that's missing from the costume? You probably didn't notice it.
I don't think I did. No, what was it?
So the original film, they had a glitter throughout the entire costume.
Okay, yep.
It's not here. So it's totally gone.
No sparkle robe.
No sparkle robe. Yeah, that's true. So it's gone. Fans are like, why is he so dark? I'm like, what do you mean so dark? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. He ain't sparkling. Because it would be a natural light element when they would light him low with backlight and you just see the sparkle like as he would run towards his prey. A lot of fans didn't notice it, but there are a small majority of fans that are like pissed about it. And I'm like, I get it. But if you buy the new Fun World 25th anniversary Ghostface mask right now, it comes with that, which is the first time they've ever actually produced it with that.
Oh,
so
the glitter?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I like that.
As we end this discussion on this trailer, I just had to mention the fact that, what seems to be the climax of the movie, and this could be misdirection yet again, Sidney Prescott returning to Stu's house, which is a set. Yep, a set, by the way, because they did not use the original house.
Real quick, I'm going to fucking tell a story real quick about the original Stu Macher house. So this year, I took a trip out to California with one of my buddies, and we decided we wanted to go to Stu Macher's house where they filmed the original Scream, right? So that place is not a place that you can just go to. It's on a farm. It is.
Well, right now you can book it for an Airbnb.
It wasn't like that when I went.
You came. Yeah.
So it's on a farm with 2 different gates that you have to get through. So if the gate is closed and locked, you're done, right? So we found out that the owner of Stu Macher's house he does weddings at his house because it's beautiful, and he owns a ton of land. And dude, the weddings.
Come on and get married now and get hitched in here at the
because I mean, dude,
house.
Stu Macher's house is like a fucking mansion. Essentially,
It'll be a scream.
It's humongous.
It is, and that view, it's on that huge hill
Yeah.
with the beautiful sunset. It's gorgeous.
You know, the cheapest that you can secure that house for a wedding is $20,000. That's the cheapest package you could possibly get to have your wedding at Stu Macher's house. $20,000. And let me tell you what, we went on a Sunday, which is when they gave tours for the house for wedding opportunities, right? So
I can see it right now. Jeremy just unloads the fucking 20K from his pocket.
Yeah.
Look at here, motherfucker.
Hey, man. So we show up on the Sunday because we read that the gates open for people that potentially want to come and check out the venue for weddings. So we show up, right? And we get out, and immediately there's a dude that walks out of the garage. Looks like a normal ass dude, and he immediately goes, "Oh, you guys aren't here to look for a wedding, huh? You guys are Scream fans." And so we were like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, yeah.
Is it because I'm short?
Yeah.
Is it because I'm short?
So he goes, "Well, look," he goes, "you guys are big Scream fans." And I had told him that I had came from Washington, D.C. to come and check the house out. And it looks just like it does in the movie because they've done on the inside as well. He's made
They've kept it. I know. Dude, I've watched all the videos recently. They've kept it. They've even done even more attention to detail recently than they were before.
Dude, same microwave is still in the kitchen. And the reason being is that, so he purchased the house like shortly after production wrapped on the film. So he didn't own it when they shot the film, but he bought it right afterwards. And immediately, it was not a house that him and his family lived in. He immediately started renting it out and doing wedding venues and stuff like that. So, dude, the curtains are the same. The microwave from the original is the same. Everything is the same. Like, literally going to that house was like walking onto the set of Scream. So he goes, "Yeah, my wife is not home right now. Do you guys want to come inside and take a tour real quick? Like, if she was home, that'd be off limits." He goes, "But she's not home right now. Do you want to come inside and I'll give you a tour?"
So I have to stop you on your story.
Yep.
By the way, motherfucker.
Yep.
Why is it you've waited till this moment to tell me about this?
You didn't know about
Yeah,
this?
I was gonna say.
I don't see any pictures. You didn't send me a picture.
Dude, they're all on Facebook.
You really?
Yeah.
Jeremy, we shared a bed together,
We did.
and you never told me this.
I'm so sorry.
You grabbed my ass bare with your bare hand, and wait.
That's probably something I did do.
You've told me everything else that you've done before you've posted it. How did I not see these photos?
Yeah, they're on the Facebooks, man. So he gives us a tour of the house, and what's incredible is that you go upstairs, and this is like, so obviously, like Justin said, now he understands the monetary value that he can make off of Scream fans. So now he's renting it out for bed and breakfast, which I bet you it's expensive as fuck. Because I mean, dude, he shelled out the cash for David Arquette to even be in the commercial for the bed and breakfast. So anyway, so what's insane is that, you know, the scene in the original where Ghostface is chasing Sydney and she slams the door and he jabs the fucking knife into the door.
Yeah.
So that was a real knife, and from what I was told is that the first take that they did that was an accident, that he tripped, and that the knife went into the door, and then Wes was like, "Oh, I really like that. Can you do that again?" He had him do it twice. Dude, the door is still there with the fucking knife marks still in it. Still there. It's incredible. It's incredible. So what's also incredible is that the guy that owns it, his name is Larry, and he's a farmer, right? He owns a dairy farm. He supplies all of the cheese.
That means to our listeners that he pulls on titties.
Pulls on them titties. Dude,
Wish I could do that.
he supplies all of the cheese to Chipotle. Fun fact for you. So his name is...
He cuts the cheese?
He cuts the cheese. So his name is Larry, so I was like, yo, fucking Dairy Larry hooked that shit up,
cool.
bro. Dairy Larry
Larry
hooked that shit up. Gave me that baller ass tour, like, for free, dude. I've got pictures where it's so, like... I took a picture where I'm, like, laying on the stairs like fucking... like Billy did when he, like, was fake stabbed and shit like that. Dude, I posted that, and I was being dead-ass serious in my picture, like no smile, no nothing, like, take the picture. And I posted it, and, like, everybody just fucking laughed.
What I love about this moment is that our listeners, probably like 70% of them are going to be like, that's so cool. And the other 30% are going to be like, I fucking hate you. I want to kill you.
Dude.
I wish I was you.
It was amazing. So yeah, dude, I'll send you some of the pictures. So if you want to drop some on the socials, and I'll drop it in the Hopesters dumpster.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was a crazy experience, and it was super fun, and we were super fortunate.
How is that? That's super South California, right?
Yeah, we took a road trip.
That's what I
so
thought.
Several hours, man, to get there, but it paid off, man. It was worth it. We got a full tour. It was great.
Me and my buddy, we want to get married. I just want to see this house.
Can you imagine if he was
promise.
like, I'll let you in this house, but you got to buy 5 pounds of cheese.
I would have been like, sold. So
Right.
So
yes, sir.
we told him, like, hey, you know that your house is in the new one, and he was like, really? Like, or actually, I take that back. He wasn't surprised by it because he got.
Well, I knew it wasn't the house.
He got paid though because they came in and did blueprints to make the replica.
Of course
Sure.
they did.
So
Yeah,
I take that back. He was
Yeah.
not surprised when we told him that, like, hey, your house is in it. He goes, yeah, it's not actually my house, which we knew it was a replica anyways. So we were like,
Well,
no, we know it's not the real one.
The reason why I knew is because when Kevin Williamson posted his
Yeah.
picture, he posted it from the exterior of the house, and you could see like the set lights above it, and I was like, I already knew it wasn't the house.
Yeah.
It looked too brand new. And obviously for obvious reasons, like Halloween Kills could have shot at, Kenny Caperton's Myers house, which is identical. It's the exact floor plan. They don't want to have to fool around with going in and removing people's stuff and really bothering that anymore. If they can build it for cheaper and then remove it or keep it there, who knows? Maybe it'll be like the next, Halloween attraction next year. That'd be perfect to do. But
Yeah.
fuck you, Jeremy. I love you, but
You're welcome.
Go fuck yourself.
You're welcome.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
happy for you, but I hate you.
I mean, I have Ghostface tattooed on my body. It's my favorite thing in the world.
I'm like
kind of,
half talking
almost
shit, and I'm like,
there.
I don't really care for the
I
sequels.
don't really care.
But I
don't
went
care.
in the fucking
Well,
house.
Well,
Right. I don't really
ladies and
care for
gentlemen,
anything, but I went there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to put Jeremy to the test when we do our Screamin' All the Way to Scream series. That's what it's called.
Yeah, boy.
And I just came up with it on that spot. See what I did
That
there?
was pretty slick.
Yeah, well, after 5 Tito's, drinking it out of my fucking Ghostface glass, see what happened there? But no, we're going to be doing a series. You asked for it. I actually, Jeremy, I said to you the other night, like, I got 3 or 4 messages and a comment on our Halloween Kills spoiler-free review post that someone was like, yo, when are you getting to Scream? So people really want us to do this, and I think, it'll be a fun time to do this for you, especially because it seems like you haven't revisited these movies in a while.
The first one I frequent, I watched Scream 4 not that long ago, but it has been a little while since I've seen 2 and 3.
When do you think the last time you saw 2 was?
Easily 3 to 4 years ago.
Jeez.
I watch part 2 once a fucking month.
Yep.
It's therapy.
Here, I'm sending you guys. I'm sending you guys the picture of me laying on the stairs like an idiot right now.
Jeremy Loomis.
Jeremy Loomis.
I wish. But ladies and gentlemen,
I gotta.
that is our
I
discussion.
gotta say real quick.
Say it, say it, say it,
as
say
much
it.
as
Go for it.
like I said, I try to be indifferent on something, or honest. I guess would be the correct thing to say. I try to be honest when something gets me. It gets me. If I'm not pumped, I'm not pumped. I'm not gonna be the guy that's gonna necessarily go with the flow just because that's a certain trend.
As
in
you
horror.
should never.
Yeah.
No one
So,
ever wants you to do that.
However, I will say, as much as I'm like, oh man, Sidney Prescott back in the fold again. Here we go. I have to respect that there's no retcons here. I mean, how many times has the Halloween series been retconned and either rebooted or now here's where we're going.
3,
We're going to pretend
4?
like
What
these
is it?
sequels
3,
didn't
4,
happen.
4,
There's no
4?
retcons here. This is part 5. This is the 5th installment in the Scream franchise, and I respect that, man. And I think that's really cool that they keep going, even if it does mean bringing back some characters that I'm like, I feel like we should move on from here. I'm stoked for it, and I'm stoked that we're going. Here we are, Scream 5. It's gonna be a Scream, baby.
Yeah. So, Brady, did you hear what David Arquette said about being on the set and channeling West? Did you hear that at all, or no?
No, I don't think so.
So, one of the things that touched me so much about this movie is when David Arquette was recently interviewed and said that he was looking around and trying to catch a feel for certain things in certain scenes, and they would just kind of magically come to him, and he knew that feeling, and that feeling was Wes Craven, and he just said, Wes is definitely up there. He's co-directing this movie with these guys. He's there as a puppet master in a lot of strange ways, like really overseeing this movie. He felt this very spiritual thing, which for me as a fan, and I think so many other fans can totally relate to, because this is Wes's franchise. It's Wes and Kevin Williamson.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all know that Wes turned down Scream twice before he decided to make it, and it was the biggest movie he ever made in terms of overall box office, the biggest franchise that he had actual profits in, because we know that he didn't get the biggest Nightmare profits until much, much later in his career. So he got lots of things to happen. You know, he got to do movies that he never thought he'd be able to do, musicals and such. So for me, this is his baby with Kevin Williamson. I'm just so excited to see what they come up with. They're saying it's a tribute to Wes Craven. So
I hope it stays like that. I really hope that they stay true to that.
It damn well better be. I mean, like, that's the one thing. Jeremy says it looks different. I mean, even Scream
in a good
4
way.
looked
In a good
different.
way.
Scream 4 looked different, too. You know, Wes had to take out a new aesthetic with that movie, but we know that things change. Modern audiences transcend, and they want to see different things that are fresh and new. But this formula is perfection. So I'm just praying that, again, we know what they're doing here. It's a new trilogy.
Oh,
it's
for
obvious. Sure. It's obvious. They're all these new actors
so
are signed
obvious.
on for at least 3 movies. So
let me ask you one more thing before we go. Do you think one of the main 3 are going to get killed off in this movie? And if so, who do you think it is?
I would say no. I would say no, because I don't think any of them would have agreed to do it.
Dewey's gone.
I don't think any
gone.
of them would have agreed to do it, because Wes made it very clear that he acknowledged that there was a mistake made when he killed Randy off, and he didn't ever want to do that again. So he made it a point that the trio was almost untouchable. You know, they could get stabbed, they could get fucked up, they could get near death, but they can't die. So I would find it hard to believe that anyone would agree to come. Any one of them would agree to come back if that was going to be the outcome. You know, if they were going to pull a fucking
unless you're Harrison Ford in Star Wars and he's like, I'll come back if you pay me $2.5 million and you kill me.
Yeah.
I mean, not to cut you off, Jeremy, I think that we're definitely going to see some legacy characters get killed here for sure.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a mistake.
Dewey's had 2 death scenes already. Both planned to actually kill him in the movie, and then rewrites changed that and brought him back, 1 and 2. Randy, same thing. First movie, he was supposed to be killed. It was a rewrite. They brought him back for the second movie. The end of the movie, they decided to rewrite the ending, and then they changed it. It was all on the spot. So Gale's probably out, and Dewey's probably out. I could see Sid possibly living throughout this one, but that scene we talked about at Stu Macher's house, that may or may not be the final confrontation that builds to something bigger, but it feels like to me this is their way of doing their, Jeremy, as you put it perfectly last week on our Halloween Kills episode, this is the Star Wars The Force Awakens. That's what they're trying to do. This is the brand new formula that Hollywood is really just trying to implement for every single franchise. Bring in the old characters, get you nostalgic, we'll kill them off, make you feel something emotionally, and then new characters.
Yep.
We'll see. It'll be a treat either way. I'm just so excited for this. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening, and thank you to Brady.
Oh, yeah.
Coming on tonight.
It was a blast. I love you guys.
Brady.
I'm glad I could finally get on here.
You got a Scream tattoo there on your arm there, don't you, boy?
I do. I got one just like my daddy.
Just like your daddy right here,
Just like
boy.
my daddy right there.
That looks good.
Just don't ever say no when daddy tells you to get down on all fours, baby.
Oh, God.
You
Woof,
never
woof.
know what's going to happen. No. Ho, ho, ho.
It's like a molasses spilling out of your mouth.
Ladies and gentlemen, seriously though, we love you, we love you, we love you. We've gotten so many kind comments from each and every one of you regarding the Brain Stew segments, and we hope that you look forward to all of our future episodes. Jeremy, if they want to see all these bullshit those cool pictures of you at the Scream House, where can they find you?
They can find me on the Instagrams. It's JT_pumpkin_guts. GUTZ.
I didn't realize you changed that, and I was looking for the, what was it, JT Hellraiser?
JT Hellraiser,
and I was like,
yeah.
did he fucking unfriend me? I was like, what's going on here?
I did.
I just
not.
talked to him the other day.
I did not.
Yeah.
I did not.
He's also on Facebook.
I'm on the Facebooks, man.
I'm Brady. Good old my friend, good old Brady. My young son here.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, and Instagram is, I think I changed it. It's B.A. Cloven.
Be
but
prepared, goddammit.
but
You're on
Cloven.
this show.
It's
Don't
on,
make don't make
it's
them
a-
do extra work.
it's supposed to be a play on McLovin. It's McLovin.
Oh, how clever of you. How clever. Well, ladies and gentlemen, after seeing Halloween Kills, if you're still interested in getting brand new poster, theatrical, double-sided, we're still giving them away. You just gotta give us an iTunes review. You can legit say that Jeremy sucks for seeing the Scream House.
Yeah, I do.
And say that you wish that you were there instead. Yeah, that's Brady.
What if we don't have iTunes? I mean, I would never be caught dead with an Android, but you know, there are some people in the world who don't have iTunes.
I mean, you know, we don't need to get into that. Do we really need to do, like, there's personal favors and stuff like that? That's not... No, that's bad.
It's like a tiered system, you know.
No, there's other places to leave us reviews. There are, like, Chartable, which is a podcast app and stuff like that. If you like listening to us on Spotify, you can leave us reviews everywhere, and all of it helps in getting us to reach a broader audience, to more cool people like you. Seriously, we mean it. More than anything else we say on this episode, without you, we wouldn't be anything. So we appreciate you so much. The reviews have been great, but it's funny, Jeremy, that since Halloween Kills premiered, that, like, people that want the poster are like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't really think I want that poster anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you could probably, like, sell it to the hobo down the street for $5.
Some people are like,
maybe he'll be able to sell it for McDonald's for this morning breakfast.
That's true.
I don't know. He's like McMuffin.
you know, I have James Jude Courtney's autograph on mine that I got like way prior to the movie coming out. And somebody asked me, I think yesterday, they were like, "Hey, such and such is going to be at this convention. Are you going to add him to your Halloween Kills poster?" I'm not adding fucking nobody to the Halloween Kills poster. I'm keeping it just Michael Myers, and that's it.
We'll just wait.
That's it. Nah, bro, that's it.
We'll wait, my friend.
That's it.
Jeremy,
we'll
I know
see.
you're going to Monster Mania to get that Donald Pleasance lookalike.
Oh,
Tom
Listen, guys.
Jones, and not the one that was referenced constantly on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Damn it.
A different
Ladies
Tom
and
Jones.
gentlemen,
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
I promised that we wouldn't have Halloween Kills talk, and look what happened. But that's it for this week's episode. It was supposed to be a mini-sode, but you guys got a full episode. That's right. You got it out of us for the brand new Scream trailer. We want to celebrate this, of course. It is a brand new fucking trailer for the 5th entry, which is a reboot for one of the biggest horror franchises of all time. We are here for it. We're so excited. And I just want to take my time right now to thank my boy Brady for being so cool and coming on and talking about it. I was like, yo, this is your shit. This is what you're all about. You were born like 3 years ago, so you need to come on for this.
I was reborn into the horror genre.
I mean, I remember drinking a bottle of Tito's like 2 years ago, and you were in the cradle, and I was like just swinging you like, and sometime you'll be able to talk about horror movies. So
No, I really appreciate being on here. Like, Scream is my shit. Anything you guys want to have me on for Scream, I'll be there in a heartbeat. I love you guys, and this is great. Keep on doing what you're doing. I love listening to all your episodes. Evil Dead was off the rails.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
That's it for this week's episode of Brain Stew. I'm Justin.
I'm Jeremy.
And yeah, there's that thing that we like to tell you to do every single week. I feel forceful in saying it, but we kind of have to tell you because that's what we do. So
Gotta keep it creepy.
Brain Stew.